clutching at my neck won't leave me alone. Will you see yourself back in the sun? The light it stings while the night it sings to me. An abnormal hell, a story I can't tell, but they'll see the gift they've given to me. I could step aside, I could end this life, but this disease, it won't release, it won't be cured by the night. I guess I'm never coming back. I'm owning on.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the St. Pete by Night revamped Twitch stream, where we play St. Petersburg by Night, a massive multiplayer tabletop role-playing game of 5th edition Vampire the Masquerade, Hunter the Reckoning, and now Werewolf the Apocalypse. My name is Nikki, also known as Crafty Mirage on all social media, and I am the one of the storytellers of St. Pete by Night revamped. Make sure to check out our St. Pete by Night tag on all social medias at St. Pete by Night. We're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, and we even have a website at www.stpetebynight.com where you can find tons of information on our server and game. If you aren't already a subscriber here on Twitch, you should go ahead and click that button, and if you're interested in playing with us, come join our server and be a part of our amazing community. Today is the first episode of one of our many chronicles here on this channel, St. Pete by Night, Don't Get Caught. An Anarch chronicle set in the Anarch territories just north of the Camarilla city of St. Pete. Now let's introduce our players.
Hi, I'm Zumi. I do have social medias, but you don't need to follow me. I'm playing Avery, a bruja, and she just moved to town.
Hello, my name is Judica, and I'll be playing Gwendel, the corporate gangrel.
Hi, I'm Krazez. I'll be playing Rex Elias, Nosferatu.
Hey, my name is Jay. I'll be playing the runaway Ventrue of Valerie Monette.
Hi, I'm Kent, the lead storyteller of St. Pete by Night, but tonight I am portraying Baron Sebastian de Leon, the Toreador Baron of Tarpon Springs.
All right, and let's set our scene. But first, a little history. In October of 2022, the city of St. Petersburg achieved praxis under the Toreador Prince Isabel de Navarra. Shortly after this praxis was achieved, the Black Rose of St. Petersburg allowed Kindred of the Anarch Free States to move into the territory of Dune Eden, which had been recently abandoned by a pack of bone gnars. Over the course of several months, Anarchs began trickling into the territory, and before long, 3 baronies formed. The Barony of Dune Eden, run by co-barons Dorothy Bennett and Zeke London, the Barony of Palm Harbor, run by Baron Ian Farrow, and the Barony of Tarpon Springs, run by Sebastian de Leon. The Anarchs and the Camarilla of the peninsula had a tense but polite agreement to not cross the established sect borders, but were able to mingle amongst each other in the neutral zone, a territory that stood between their borders and only had one rule enforced by the Camarilla Scourge and the Anarch Sweeper: don't break the masquerade. It was in the neutral zone where the first Elysium welcoming the Anarchs was held, and also where Isabel de Navarra finally succumbed to the beckoning, the phenomenon that affected the elders of Kindred society with the compulsion to travel east. When she left, the security the Anarchs felt with this Camarilla city went with her. The Anarch barons and emissary knew Prince Isabel, but they didn't know this new prince, Carmine Russell, her grandchild and a known recluse even amongst his own clan. There was no reassurance if he would allow them to stay or bring the full might of the Camarilla down on them. With Tampa right across the bay, if the Anarchs were no longer welcome, it would be a fight that they couldn't possibly win, and they would suffer many casualties. That is why the barons are so eager to ensure that no knowledge of masquerade breachers in the Anarch baronies ever crosses the border, and that is why they can't let anyone know about the serial killings. About 3 months ago, a series of murdered kine began popping up across all 3 baronies, all with the same cause of death: exsanguination. Each body found completely drained of its blood, the fragile vessels mangled and broken, bearing the telltale mark of fangs at their throats. A blatant breach of the masquerade, and a problem that needed to be resolved at any cost. And so the barons put the kindred of their baronies to work to find the kindred responsible for this negligent behavior. Tonight, your baron summons you to get to work. Tonight the air is mildly chilly, not that any of you can feel it, as you each drive up the immaculate driveway to the Salamander Resort and Spa. The Salamander Resort and Spa is a luxury building with a brick facade and tall gable roofs with dark gray shingles. White trim windows illuminated with soft natural lighting from within the building. The sandstone driveway is surrounded by an immaculately manicured lawn of Bermuda grass, along with the decorative topiary shrubs and rose bushes. Driving along the building, you notice a single marble statue of an astonishingly handsome man standing on a pillar with a golden salamander wrapped around it. The driveway curves to the carport in front of the doors, where a valet driver begins to approach your vehicles to open them for you so that you may step out. Kindred, I would like for you to give me your rouse checks. You're good, Sebastian.
Always good.
Did anyone get
Success.
Success? Did anyone get hungrier?
I did not get hungrier.
Excellent. But what about our gangrel and our bruja? Did they get hungrier?
Well, I did not.
So good. And what about our
Yeah,
little bruja?
I did.
Oh no! Alright, we're starting out tonight with an angry bruja. Hungry bruja. Alright, so you stand, you are all in your vehicles, waiting to enter the building. A valet has just approached the first vehicle. We'll go with Valerie. They open the door for you to help you out. Why don't you describe yourself, Valerie? What do the kindred see as you step out?
I would like to say Valerie stands at like a modest height, not really too tall, more just average build. More on especially like a very skinny, kind of scrawny build. As when she steps out, she's very well dressed, wearing a suit and tie, the white shirt underneath, trying to look as presentable as possible, as professional as possible, with her hair well done, naturally curly hair. She looks around, kind of keeping this stone face best she can, trying to assess for any like danger. Waiting for. Normally, she has her ghoul, like a sister, as kind of matter, like, you know, opening the door for her, like taking her to places. So she's not too used to this scenario right now. She's kind of growing accustomed to it as she's walked forward with a sense of like pride and dignity.
Speaking of your ghoul, River is going to be seated behind the driver's seat looking at you through the open door you have just vacated. Shall I park the car and come and follow you inside, ma'am, or should I stay in the vehicle?
You can stay in the vehicle. I'm sure this won't take very long.
Of course, ma'am. When the valet closes the door, he drives around and goes to park the vehicle. Rex, how do you arrive in your vehicle?
I'm being dropped off by a fellow gang member, probably Cheese. He's well, I'm gonna be complete contrast to Val. I'm just gonna be wearing my signature hoodie, just treating this casually, trying not to raise too much suspicion around myself or others, keeping the hood up just in case any kind are around to see my face.
Yeah, Cheese will, leaning on the steering wheel, just staring at you. You want me to pick you up, or are you good?
I'll probably just share a ride with one of these fools. No big deal.
Alright, see you later, man. And pulls off in his beat-up Toyota, just like with rust around the rim. Does not care that he screeched away. Probably leaving a tire.
Exactly what I was imagining.
All right. Gwendale, your car pulls up. What do they see as you pull up in your vehicle?
So, what this is a man of quite high height, with a strong athletic build. He has a chiseled facial contour and fair skin and piercing blue eyes. He's wearing a long coat, something mariner would wear, and someone is driving the car.
Is it Jinx driving your vehicle today? All right.
Yes.
Jinx, much like Valerie's ghoul did with her, will look to you and just tilt her head. Am I following you inside? Or do you want me to stay in the car?
Better if you stay in the car.
Alright. How long until I might need to pull around?
Well, let's make it an hour. Okay.
Fine. This place is too clean. I'm gonna go find a bar then.
Good idea.
Chill. Cut the wheel and head on out. And finally, Avery. What do the Kindred see as you pull up in your vehicle?
Well, Avery is alone. She's driving her own vehicle. And, when she steps out, she is wearing, like, a pair of nice slacks, a professional yet kind of revealing shirt with, like, a blazer over top of it. I mean, she's short. She's, like, 5 foot. Like, she's short. But she's, obviously worked out. So, purple hair, green eyes.
Since you were the only one that did not have someone driving you in, the valet is going to look expectantly at you. Do you need us to park your car for you, ma'am?
Oh, yeah, sure. Just, don't scratch it or whatever. And she hands over the keys.
They take the keys, they step into the vehicle, and they drive it off to the parking. As you guys approach the sliding doors of the Salamander Spawn Resort, there is a very large, handsome, muscular-looking man that is stepping outside as you are approaching. He is of Latin descent, tan skin, short, cropped black hair, and a little bit of a shadowy stubble. He's wearing a tight black V-neck t-shirt that kind of definitely shows off that this man has a six-pack, and he has the body to show that he has earned that six-pack. Ripped jeans. This guy is dressed very casually, and you're kind of uncertain if he's staff or if he's a guest. But Valerie and Rex, you two specifically would know who this individual is, having contacts within the cartel. You know that this is Marcos, one of the lieutenants of the cartel. And he is waiting expectantly in front of the sliding doors, looking at you all.
We should give him like a polite nod to him, a little bit.
Are you the ones that were summoned?
That would be correct. About a specific job.
And he'll pull out a phone from his cell phone, and you see him open up the Notes app. Monet? And he's looking at all of you.
Right here.
Elias?
That's me, boss.
He tilts his head a little bit. Gwendal? Gwendale. Is that freaking French? Okay. And then he'll look at Avery, and I assume you're right.
Always.
I like that. That's funny. All right, follow me. Boss will see you. So, do any of you stop to converse before following him? Okay. As you enter the building, It is a nicely decorative lobby. There are tile floors, floral arrangements. The staff is well dressed and all of them very good looking, you notice as you walk by. He leads you through a few hallways back into an administrative area of this resort and leads you through some doors. Inside this next room, you see that it has been set up much like a cigar lounge. There are comfortable chairs and sofas all around with nice curtains on the windows, and there's a fireplace even, but you'll notice that there is not actual flame inside. It is an LED fireplace that you notice a tall back velvet chair of rich burgundy is positioned very strategically in front of it, almost silhouetting the figure sitting in it. And if our guest will introduce himself, what do they see?
Sebastian is lounged across the chair. There is what looks to be an attractive male and an attractive female, both knelt on either side of the chair, each of them having exposed their necks and leaned in. You can see that Sebastian is wiping some blood out of the corner of his lips. He's dressed in a floral print shirt, gold chains around his neck, long black hair kind of swept back behind. He is wearing a large gold watch, and the most prominent thing is the gold lion pendant hanging from his neck with a crown around it that is prominently displayed. As he sees you enter, he kind of licks the tip of his finger, getting the last of the blood from around his lips, and then gestures with a hand, causing both of the individuals to rise and make their way out. Good evening. Buenos noches, my guests. Please come, have a seat. He gestures to some of the other chairs and couches.
Valerie will walk up and like sit down on the chair, but it seems kind of like very stiff right now, like maybe a little bit of fear kind of visible on her face.
Avery just like sits down and makes herself at home. Like she's crossing her legs. She's got her hands kind of resting over the back of the chair and just like watching everyone else.
I'll keep relatively distant, trying to sit as far from Mr. De Leon as possible, but also like still visible, like not completely out of the way. I'll take my hood off now, show respect, and show my face.
And what do they see when you expose your face?
So the left side, or to your right, of Rex's face mostly resembles very heavy scar tissue. Does have some signature resemblance of the traditional Nosferatu face on the skin part. Definitely more pale and higher heavy baldness on that left side, but he still retains mostly human features on the right.
Gwendale, do you sit down?
So yes, I will sit. I'll be the last to sit, and I'll do it quietly.
Marcos escorts the two blood dolls out of the room, and after the doors locked behind them, he proceeds to walk to stand at attention, ready to answer to whatever his Dometer commands.
Before we begin with the business, I must ask, is anyone in need of refreshment? We have much to discuss this evening, and I would not have you do so on an empty stomach.
I could use a bite.
Very good. He reaches over to a side table and puts what looks to be one of those long claw kind of nails on his long finger, and then raises it to his own wrist and slices along the wrist, opening the vein.
Sure. Oh, how gracious of you. Trying
Only
to
the
keep
best
like
for my guests.
she's like trying to keep like a mask. Like she totally knows what's going on here, but she's like, We'll play into it.
Bombastic side eye.
A little bit.
As she approaches, I'd like to activate awe.
All right. Go ahead. Izumi, I need you. I had a cheat sheet for everything and I didn't even have it on my desk. What's wrong with me? For awe, Izumi, I would like you to roll. Here it is. Your composure and intelligence.
If you want to resist.
If you want to resist, of course. Do you want to resist? He's so handsome.
He is handsome. But no. Oh, this could. Okay, you know what? We'll start off interesting, I guess.
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye. Okay, 4 successes. As you try to resist, it is like, do you know when you've walked into a room and suddenly all the air got let out and the wind just hits you? It's almost like that, as the sheer might of Sebastian's presence hits you, and you just can't help but stare at this stunning individual before you with the piercing blue eyes. So unusual and rare for someone of Latin descent like him, and you can't help but feel pulled towards him like he's a magnet, and you're the only piece of metal in this room.
Sebastian will uncross his legs and pull her into his lap, raising his wrist to her mouth and letting her drink while running the claw along the other side of her face. Not enough to cut the skin, but just enough to remind her of the claws of the lion.
All right. Do you drink?
Yup.
All right. You can go ahead and take away 1 dot of hunger, since you are at 2, correct? Unless you're going to try to keep going. No? Okay. You sip of his wrist, and it is so much better than kind blood. It's richer, it's bolder, and you can't help but taste some spiciness, and also some hint of rose in the blood as he feeds it to you. And it is just euphoric as you consume of it.
I'm not a smart pro.
That's enough, my dear. Don't forget to lick it closed.
Yeah, she does. Slowly. I'm not breaking eye contact with him.
This is my sire in my previous character.
Once she's done, Sebastian will let her rise and take her seat wherever she wishes to.
Back to her original spot.
Izumi, go ahead and mark 1 dot blend bonded to Sebastian on your sheet.
So, to business. And Sebastian will reach over to a little wooden box and open it, pulling out a cigar, snipping off the tip, and then sticking it in his mouth before lighting it. He then looks over to Marcos and gestures, and Marcos brings forth the latest Tampa Bay Times, open to a very specific article about a recent murder.
And Marcos will go over to everyone. He has a copy of the Tampa Bay Times for each individual in this room, and sets it in their hands before moving to quietly stand beside Sebastian once more.
You have read the news lately? If not, take a moment to peruse as it is of the utmost importance and what we'll be discussing this evening.
For those of you at home watching, the article that everyone reads on the newspaper, local man found dead in Whitecomb Bayou. Police were called to a gruesome scene Friday morning when Sonia Gutierrez discovered the body of a deceased individual on the shore of Whitcomb Bayou as she was walking her dog. The call came in at 5:41 a.m. when Miss Gutierrez called frantically about what she described as a gator attack. While Pasco County PD has yet to release any information on the identity of the individual found, nor any official cause of death, Pasco County PD is not willing to make an official statement at this time.
This is not the first such incident that has occurred within my domain, let alone the domain of the Anarchs. In fact, this is the latest of many. In the past, we have been able to cover up such things easily, but now it is becoming more frequent and more problematic, and it is becoming more than I'm willing to continue enduring. I've brought you here because I have heard your names. I have heard of Signora Monet. I have heard of the Elias Rex, both from my lieutenants and your superiors within the cartel.
Yes, sir.
Gwendale, I know your sire very well, and they have a very good relationship with this barony. One that could be further increased should you prove yourself to be useful and capable. And you, and he kind of smiles for a moment longer, just looking over Avery. You have quite a bite. I'd like to see just how firm that bite is. Perhaps you can show me something I haven't seen before. That being said, the task before you is to find out what is causing these attacks and to take care of it by any means necessary. The one rule is the same rule that all of the Anarchs hold. Do not break the masquerade by any means. If I found out you have done so, the punishment will be severe and swift. The complication of this is that these attacks are not just happening within our borders, but all across the area. I have spoken with the other barons and we have agreed that this needs to be taken care of. I have taken responsibility to see it done. Now I am passing that responsibility on to you. You have the authority of the barons to enter into their domains, but you must approach them first and let them know of your entrance and your findings. After you have done so, you should be free to investigate. Is any of this unclear?
No, sir.
No, sir.
From what we can tell, the attacker is most certainly Kindred. Since you are all relatively new to the area, I do not have any reason to suspect it to be any of you, but I am not a fool. I treat everyone with suspicion. Do not give me cause to have further suspicion in you, and we will get along just fine. But you have to remember, you cannot trust anyone. Even the very barons you address could be the ones working against this barony, against my rule, against the cartel, or even against the Anarchs themselves. So treat everyone as a suspect, but do so subtly, do so carefully. I will now address any questions you may have.
Do we happen to have any more information on the murders themselves? Have any prior investigation has happened?
Yes. One body was found just outside my very fence line, right on the border of the Palm Harbor barony. They tried to blame it on me, of course, but I had some individuals that came before you look into it, and it seemed that whoever was responsible did so in a very sloppy manner. They left the wounds open and the body ravaged, something that is unusual for most esteemed kindred. I believe there have been other incidents as well. Marcos can fill you in on the details of those after this meeting.
Si, senor.
It says here it was reported to be a crocodile alligator attack, something. Do we have any information regarding that, or is it just...
That is what my sources have leaked to the press in order to further dissuade any further investigation. But as these happen more and more frequently, it becomes more suspicious, as alligator attacks are rare. They are more docile and less aggressive, but if this continues, more eyes will come looking.
That makes sense.
I have another question. I know it might be a little early to ask, but I was wondering if there was perhaps going to be any sort of payment for our services? Something to motivate us?
Oh, I see the influence of the cartel in your speech. I am most impressed. Yes, I do have something to offer to you. Consider it temporary and on the border of becoming permanent should you succeed. I have marked out a territory near one of the attack sites that is going to be considered your coterie's domain. Should you prove successful, it will become permanent. Should you fail, I will retake what's mine. Now, this is still a part of my barony, but I will leave it to you to control, to use as your hunting grounds, and to maintain. If you take good care of Tarpon Springs takes good care of you. And he kind of looks over at Avery again and gives another smile.
As the territory is brought up, Marcos does produce a set of keys that appear to be for a house lock, with a tag on it that clearly has written an address on it. And he is looking to the group who to give it to before glancing to Sebastian as to decide which seems to be the most in charge of the group.
Go with Elias or Miss Monet to start. We will see how leadership develops over time.
He takes the keys and surprisingly doesn't hand them to Valerie, but rather hands them to Elias. And kind of gives him just like a head jerk that you know from your upbringing and where the kind of neighborhood you grew up. Very much a hood acknowledgement. Street recognized street. And
I will say, there is a sweeper within the barony just south of us, the Palm Harbor barony, a Nosferatu of a surprisingly blunt attitude. You will likely have to deal with them, and you will likely have to convince them that we are not responsible for this, of which I promise you we are not. If it were someone in my barony, they would be taken care of. We don't know who is responsible, but approach with caution when dealing with this sweeper.
Is there any other barony that we should be concerned about that might not be so gracious to us or welcoming?
The Dunedin barony with the co-barons, though we have had reasonable dealings in the past, Baron Bennett is of the ministry, and the ministry are surprisingly devious and can be seductive at first, but always seek to come out on top. be careful in dealing with that one. She has a beguiling way about her, and she will most likely try to appeal to all of your senses.
I sneak a glance towards Avery for a moment when he said that, and then I continue staring back at Sebastian.
But as I said, I have spoken to all of the barons, and we are all in agreement that this does need to be investigated. So you should be given hospitality within their domains as long as you follow the proper rites of introducing yourself and explaining what it is you are doing and passing along as many results as they need to be aware of.
So we're working for all of you.
No, you work for me. They just happen to be my associates.
Alright, but when it comes to information, should we give you information first and then do that?
You can pass along any information to Marcos. He will tell you what you need to reveal to the other barons. What they need to know.
Marcos
Exactly,
just
Marcos.
nods his head.
This is a very, very important case. It is your first priority. I know Kindred well enough to know that you have your own personal ambitions. And if you take care of my business first, I will always help you take care of yours.
Understood, sir.
I appreciate the heads up.
How would you like to proceed? Discuss amongst yourselves, come up with a strategy, and perhaps I can give you a little bit of advice.
Well, if I were to be honest, I think our best course of action first here is at least to investigate the areas of the murder, or at least most recent murder, so we can at least see if there's some sort of clues. I doubt we'll get anything from no witnesses, and maybe perhaps the most recent call-in might have something, but I doubt it. I think it would just be best if we went to the scene of the crime, or at least try to investigate the bodies themselves to see if we can pick up on anything they might have missed out on. It's hard to tell what you're looking for in a Kindred attack when you don't even know the Kindred exists.
This is true.
Do we know where the body's being held?
Yes, there is a morgue at the local police station where it is currently being processed and going through the autopsy. These attacks are usually savage at the very least, and if they don't know what they're looking for, they might not pick up on clues. But based off of your experiences, based off of your knowledge of Kindred culture, perhaps there are additional bits you can pick up on with a close examination. I could potentially arrange for access to said body if that is what you wish to do.
That was going to be my next question.
I have a great deal of influence over all the local authorities. Should you need something, I can probably make arrangements for you.
Would there be a cost?
Depending on the extremity of the favor required, perhaps, but simply getting a meeting, a viewing, consider that gratis.
I appreciate your your hospitality and your gracefulness.
Gwendale, what are you doing in this moment?
Right now I'm taking notes because as an investigator I need to make sure that I have all the details. So mostly you will see me writing and listening to all the conversation that are going around.
And as an investigator, do you have any questions that you might think to ask of the group? Or suggestions?
Well, beside crossing reference with older cases, maybe if something happened before, last year, year before,
As you all know, or may not know, our relationship with the Camarilla to the south is tenuous at best. We need to keep as little of this information from reaching their ears as possible. If they think we cannot handle our own business, they will see no further use for us. While our forces are sizable, they have the backing of their entire tower behind them, and they will do what needs to be done to restore order, especially under this new prince. I have not come to know him very well, but he is a piece of the puzzle, so to speak. Lucky for us, I happen to have a resource within the Camarilla who has been helping take care of any news that has been traveling southward. In the future, should you need someone to reach out to, there is someone within the neutral zone who could perhaps be of use to you. I will not reveal them now, but Marcos can provide you with that in the future as well.
And Marco's kind of just... give me a wits and insight, those of you in the room. You're looking at a difficulty of 4.
I got a 1.
I'm gonna rouse check.
It's wits and
Insight, correct. Thank you so much for using the dice roller, guys. I appreciate it.
Oh, the rouse check. Oh.
Yeah, because I don't have a big pool.
Well, at least you didn't get hungrier.
I mean, it's not like I'm.
So it would be 5 plus 1.
Oh, sorry.
If
Wrong
you're
button.
so you're gonna make the pool of your wits and your insight, and based on how many you get, you're gonna put the total number of dice in your pool, and then you're gonna select hunger, and one of those dice will be a blood dice, since you are at 1 hunger. Mechanics, everyone, they're so fun. Especially in Vampire the Masquerade.
You're our last hope, Gwendale.
Oh no!
Oh god, none of us can read a room.
So, unfortunately, none of you get to see it, but had you succeeded, what you would have seen, and what you all missed, was a slight tensing of Marcos's body, and a quick side-eye to Sebastian at the mention of this individual, which he quickly composes himself because he can't have anyone seeing him off guard in front of his boss. But unfortunately, none of you get to see that. Just the audience knows now.
Valerie will say it. So, do we also know if there happens to be any sort of enemies that we might be concerned about, especially those among the Camarilla that might be interfering or at least causing this issue?
Everyone has a reason to benefit from my downfall. The barons, the Camarilla, even others within the Anarch movement outside the city. As I said, you should trust no one. While I have secured the cartel here in Florida, there are others who are always seeking to reach for the top, so we may even have enemies amongst the kind. The list of enemies is long, but all of them have failed to do anything to disrupt my reign so far, and they will continue to fail as long as they try.
You had mentioned going to the neutral zone. Is there any chance of us having to go to the Camarilla zone?
Hopefully not. Hopefully, everything can be contained within our territory. If any of these attacks bleed over into the Camarilla, we will have problems. So for the time being, there should be no cause for you to enter into Camarilla territory. It is forbidden without proper permissions. And if my contact within the neutral zone can help you find anything down in Camarilla territory or investigate it, they can be of great use to you. But for now, do not cross that border, or it could mean war.
You got it, sir.
Yeah, and considering the fact that they've attacked all up and down the Anarch territory, if they wanted to go into the Camarilla territory, they probably would have done so by now. So it probably is localized to the Anarch territory for some sort of reason. For that, we just have to find out why.
I think you have a fairly good lead in starting with the location of the murder, seeing if you can find any clues there. I might also recommend checking out the body itself, as these savage, brutal attacks have not been tended to, have not been taken care of or cleaned up after. This individual is sloppy, to say the very least. They are not minding what they do. They seem to have little to no regard for the masquerade. So whoever we are looking at, they are looking to cause trouble for us, or just unaware of the effects of what they do.
Could it be a new one? Who, like,
Very
just
well could
doesn't
be.
know?
That's what you're going to find out.
You can do that, sir. Just let us know when you can, when that meeting with the body could be secured, and we can go investigate as soon as possible.
Senor, I can
could have you
arrange.
there.
I can arrange to have that done immediately.
Could have you access this very evening if you are feeling eager. My final suggestion would be to speak to the widow Gutierrez mentioned in the news article. I have already procured their address. If you wish to pay them a visit, see what they know, and perhaps erase any memory of your visit. This could be useful information as well. It could be very possible that she just killed her spouse, but made it look bad enough that it has given me pause.
With that, Marcos does produce another written address in an envelope, and this one he does hand to Valerie.
I put it in my pocket, as I say. It probably would be best for us to investigate the body first, as that's the most time pressing right now, considering that they're processing it right now. If they do a full autopsy, it might mess up whatever we're looking at. So I think we should do that first, if everyone else is okay with that.
Sounds good. Hopefully we can get the police report as well.
Good to me.
Not looking forward to having to deal with police, but
The police are on the take. They are under my control and influence for the most part, but they can't help but have to report certain things if they become too problematic. So, as long as you take a subtle approach with them, they should not be problems for you.
Marcos's phone suddenly buzzes and rings, and he pulls it out of his pocket as an alarm alert goes off. Senor, your next appointment.
You have your instructions. You know your domain. Make yourselves at home, and welcome to Tarpon Springs. Hopefully your stay will be long and beneficial, like me. Otherwise it could be short and final.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for
Buenas.
having us.
Buenas noches to all of you. You know the way out.
if
Yes,
you
sir.
need anything, don't be afraid to reach out, sir.
Same goes to you.
And with that, as Marcos follows this group out of the room and makes sure to call the car around for Sebastian, we're gonna go ahead and take a break. Everyone go ahead, get up, hydrate, stretch your legs, and take 5 minutes. Kent, thank you so much for reprising your role as Sebastian de Leon and joining us briefly. And we will see you back here in about 5 minutes. And welcome back. Where we last left off, our coterie was being escorted out of Sebastian de Leon's lounge area and are now walking through the hotel up to the front lobby with Marcos right behind them. The scene is yours.
I think I kind of like the Baron.
He's very upfront about what he is, and that I can respect.
Well, it was most gracious of him to have us here tonight, so... I mean, even if it's in his interest, but nevertheless.
And Marcos will speak up. So do you guys know each other or something?
Nope, never seen him in my life.
Maybe she fix that.
Hi, I'm Avery.
I remember hearing earlier, I may have heard earlier as well from Marcos, my name is Valerie.
I'm Rex.
I'm Grandel. It's nice to meet you.
Since we're working together, I suppose we should probably, you know, get to know each other, so... Or not, I mean, that's up to you.
I mean, you offered, so why not go first? I mean, the floor is yours.
I'm a Bruja from Nebraska, moved here like 3 months ago.
That says not much, really, but alright. I am clan of Ventru, but I've came down here pretty recently. I moved from another part of Florida, so I don't really have much of a established place here, but looking to try and, you know, just make a place for myself here, you know.
I've got my connections. I'm a Nosferatu. I was from Pensacola, but I died, so they sent me over here instead.
Funny how that happens.
And, well, I was working around and, well, you know, I had this, stuff to do, so, here I am, yes.
Well, I honestly was just gonna try to stay out of all this Kindred business, but, well, I guess when the Baron calls...
I'm interested, though... I'm sorry, go on.
Certainly better than selling on a corner, but whatever.
That's what the internet's for.
I mean, I do wonder why he specifically went for you, considering he gave a reason for the rest of us, but not quite an actual reason for you. So, do you have a connection with him, or?
Nah, I literally moved down here to, try to do some good for the kind. Like I said, I was trying to keep to myself, but
Good luck with
I don't
that.
know, maybe he's a fan of mine.
Good luck with that. Florida's a shithole right now.
Anyway, what do y'all fuckers want to give us a ride?
You got cars? You don't have a
Fine,
car?
I'll give you a ride.
Well, at least
Yeah, no.
pay for it. I will take my own ride to there. I assume we're going to go to the Autopsy-verse, so I'll have my ghoul drive me there.
Hang on, I gotta text you guys the address of the police department. Marcos pulls out his phone. Who am I you guys got, your phone numbers?
Oh, I guess we can make a group chat. Can't we make a group chat? Is that a good idea?
Maybe we can make a group chat, just not post anything super, you know,
Right,
obvious
just where we're
on it.
meeting.
Nothing too obvious on the group chat. Keep it simple.
And it also is a good way for us to have everyone's contact so we can easily add each other.
Yeah.
You guys all exchange numbers and are put under a group chat where you're also put in a chat with Marcos. And he does a little bit of typing on the phone and sends off a address to the police department and the name of an individual that you can speak to once you get there. The name that he sends you is Officer Miller.
Great.
Alright,
So I guess let's go talk to the pigs.
after you.
Marcos walks you all the way to the doorway, and once there, he gives a nod of his head. You got my number. I'm gonna be your means of contact. If you have any questions, just give me a call. If you need to talk about some sensitive stuff, we can arrange to meet. But usually I'm just gonna be here or with the boss, because that's my job. Did you have any questions before you guys head out?
Oh, I remember when we were talking to Sebastian that he mentioned that you had some prior information about the prior investigations or the prior murders before this. Do you happen to know a little bit more than we were told right now?
We know that there's been over 6 murders at least that have been found in the past 3 months alone, and they're all over the Anarch baronies. It just started out in Palm Harbor and Barrows barony, but then we found the body on our border. And then they started popping up here in Tarpon Springs, and then they started popping up in Dunedin.
Just in the baronies.
As far as we're aware, yeah.
That's a little suspicious.
So none in neutral territory at all?
As far as we're aware, no.
We're probably a lot more aware about our territories than neutral and the Camarilla territory. So it might be happening, but we just don't know it.
Possible.
But our best bet is to investigate what we have here. I mean, it's surprising that I didn't find anything like, if it was so messy, you didn't find anything like DNA or something like that, something left behind by whatever did this.
Possible, but that stuff takes months to process.
I suppose that's true.
Well,
Maybe by the time we find them, oh, sorry, go on.
So maybe there was some clues, but since they are kind, they won't see it as clues.
Yeah, so we're going to investigate the body for it at least, so hopefully one of you has a good eye for spotting that kind of thing. I'm okay at it, but I wouldn't say I am any sort of investigator.
Shall we get going then?
Yep. Got the address. Might as well go hit up Officer Miller.
Mm-hmm. I'll meet you there.
Alright.
Alright.
If you guys need me, just give me a call. And he tucks the phone back into his pocket and heads back inside.
When you head back inside, you see Valerie just visibly deflates, just that sense of ego and self-confidence just kind of fades away, just kind of shrinks down. Has just let out a deep breath. Just okay, I'll meet you all there. Just give me a moment. I just go towards my car.
All right, beautiful. Let's go.
Your car, Valerie, is already running, as River has seen you in the rearview mirror and cut the engine started the engine to be ready for your command. He has leaned over to open the door for you slightly from within, and is looking at you expectantly. So how'd that go?
It was tiring. Please, let's hope that they not call upon us again soon. I can't keep doing that. I get in and I just put my head in the hand a little bit. I have an address you could drive. If you could drive me to, please, I would appreciate a lot. We're trying to investigate a murder now.
And he'll take the address and pop it into the GPS system, and just give you a look, just being like, I mean, you should be used to responsibility, ma'am.
I know. It's just anytime I'm around someone the barony or whatever, it's always remind me of it, you know.
Yeah.
It's just I'll get myself back together by the time we get there. I just need a moment to recompose myself.
Of course, ma'am. And he starts backing up in the space and moving to head towards the destination. Rex, you're getting into the car with Avery.
If she lets me.
I mean, she did say beautiful, so she was clearly talking to you. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I missed that. Sorry. Yeah, I'll do that.
Avery loves the Nosferatu.
And Gwendale.
Gwendale will call Nyx. And
She answers the phone. Are you done already?
already done.
Oh.
Shorter than I expected. So
Damn it, I just got my drink too. Okay, I'm on my way.
I'll
And
put it on my table.
I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Great.
And she hangs up. It's gonna be a 5-minute wait for you. But eventually she does arrive in the vehicle and waits for you to get into the car.
So next we're going on a new adventure. So be ready.
What are we doing this time?
So we need to meet with this Officer Miller, and we need to go to this address.
We're gonna go
I'll
talk
give
to
her the
cops.
address. Well, I will do the talking, and you can stay in the car.
Okay, good. 'Cause
If
I
you
don't like
prefer.
I don't like cops.
You go enjoy your whiskey.
I had to leave it at the bar because you can't drive in this state with an open container of alcohol.
Alright, but you're going to get a new one.
Am I?
Yes, you will.
Okay. All right. You guys drive for about 10-15 minutes. It's Monday night traffic. Everyone's heading back for home from work. And you arrive at the police station. It is a smaller station, but you can see that it has multiple floors. 2 of them. And you see that it is busy within. There are officers coming in and out of the building, going about duty or returning from active duty and just going about their evening. You guys all arrive in the parking lot. Valerie first, followed by Avery, and then 5 minutes behind all of you would be Gwendale. And once again, the scene is yours. You are at the police department.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you again.
So you guys can talk to these people.
I kind of figured that would happen. What delayed you, Gwendale? If I had a watch, I'd look at it kind of condescendingly right now, but...
You know, a whiskey adventure.
hopefully being late is not a common thing with you.
Would you know that?
But any of you want to take the lead here, or I assume I'll be the one talking to Officer Miller?
Well, ladies first. sir.
You
Go
don't
ahead.
want me talking to the fuck cop.
I mean,
Maybe they like that kind of stuff. You don't know, but yeah, all right.
Maybe they're into it.
You're kind of giving me Wade Wilson vibes.
I don't know who that is, honey.
Deadpool?
Oh, I've heard of that.
Wow.
That's kind of like, isn't that kind of mean? Isn't he like an asshole?
He's a funny asshole.
He's a funny guy. I love the guy.
And he's like us. You know, he can grow limbs back.
I mean, I don't quite know that we can full grow limbs, but I mean.
Oh no, we can. I know.
Also,
you did
why are
try.
you acting so loudly about this right here in front of the police station?
Give me a wits and awareness, everyone.
My amazing dice pool of 3 once again. 1 success. Yay. Can my ghoul roll as well?
Sure, let me
He has a much better dice pool than I do.
go ahead and let me find him actually. So you're gonna have River roll his wits and awareness.
Yeah.
Alright. I will roll.
It's
for
a tiny little dice pool.
Oh, I can see that he's really good at this. Okay. I've got his result. And let me go back to seeing your guys' result. Alright, so Izumi, just as Valerie says that, both you and Valerie's ghoul kind of notice that there is a group of officers walking in your direction. Well, not a group, it's a pair of officers. A pair of officers just walking in your direction. Gwendale, you also see them.
You're up, Valerie.
I'm going to like walk up to approach them as they say, hello officers, I was coming here. I was wondering if I could talk to you, an Officer Miller.
So the officers, as they're approaching, they look taken aback that you stopped them. And then you look behind you and you notice that there was a squad car. You parked near some squad cars. And they're just, they as you stopped them, you noticed that they were still looking past you and not at your group at all. But they turn to you. Who are you looking for?
Sorry, I just really need to find an Officer Miller. Do you happen to know him? Sorry, it's kind of important.
Yeah, he's a beat cop. I think he's inside right now. I think he's on desk duty for the next couple days, doing paperwork. If you just go up to the receptionist, they can... Are you alright, ma'am? You seem a little frazzled.
It's okay, sorry, No, it's just something a little personal between me and him, you know. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring you into all this.
They look at the group that's with you, Valerie. And they're assessing you a little bit more.
I'll look to the one to the left. I'll say it. It'd just be better if you forgot about all this. If you just forget about it. And I'd like to use Cloud Memory.
On both of them?
Yeah, I'm trying to use it on both of them. Just starting with the left one first and to the right.
Yeah, they, you see, they're mortals. They weren't expecting it, so Cloud Memory just works on them. You see them blink a little bit, and they glance at you as they seem to be shaken, like shaking some fogginess away from their head. Oh, hi there, ma'am. Is there something we can do for you?
No, I was just passing by. Excuse me. I didn't mean to get in your way. And I just kind of creep over to the edge of them and start walking in the building.
They just give a shrug and just start walking towards the squad car they had been approaching initially.
And I'll be following Valerie.
I want to learn that trick.
Hood up, head low. Don't want anyone to see my face.
All right, give me a... Let's see, what do we want to make this? Let's make this a charisma and subterfuge roll.
For who?
For Rex. Actually, it could be subterfuge or stealth, your choice.
We're gonna go with stealth in a second.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm just like, technically this could be this too. Definitely still a charisma roll though. Alright, 3 successes. Simple enough. It's something that you are very used to even when you were alive. Keep your hood up, head down, and just try not to be noticed by cops. Something that you're used to doing already. Alright. You guys start approaching the precinct. It's a pair of sliding doors, once again, because we're in the modern ages of 2023 and everything's electronic now. But you enter the police precinct. It's even though it is the evening now and it's the later hours, it is still a pretty busy precinct. There's a lot of chatter going around. You can hear a lot of cops just talking about their cases or how they hate being at work today. Just general idle day chatter. You do see as you walk in that there is a desk with a couple of receptionists seated behind it, answering phone calls as needed and typing away at a computer.
So I happen to see Officer Miller amongst those receptionists or amongst the desk workers.
So it's not really desk workers you see cops coming in and out, but it's not the area that the cops are seated in yet. This is more like a reception area where you can come in, find out where you are meant to go, and then get directions from there. It's a lobby.
Okay, I guess I'll go with one of the receptionists. I'll say, excuse me, could you point me in the direction of an Officer Miller?
Officer Miller. Oh, yes. Officer Miller is going to be up on the second floor with the other traffic cops.
All right, thank you very much.
All right. And she'll go back to typing. You guys head in the direction of Officer Miller? All right. You guys head upstairs, are you going to choose to take the elevator or the stairs?
Obviously, elevator.
Oh.
I'm gonna go for the stairs.
Okay.
Two
Elevator.
different groups.
I guess I'll take the elevator too.
Okay. So Gwendale, you get your steps in today as you go up the elevator, and the rest of you in the elevator, it's a little cramped because there are also a couple of uniformed officers in there with you. And you do notice, Rex, that one of them is kind of looking at you just because he sees a hood and is just like tilting his head over in your direction every now and then.
You need help, buddy?
You know, it's kind of not the best idea to wear a hood in a precinct, right?
I've got a condition on my face. It's not pretty.
Oh yeah? And he
I heard it's contagious.
Yeah, he hears when you say the word contagious, he kind of like rears back just a little bit. Why are you out then?
Ed, look, I've got business, okay?
Yeah, okay. And just go ahead and leaves you alone. The elevator's doors open, and you see that Gwendale is already there. Kind of loped up and just like only had just arrived.
Mom, Justin, what took you so long?
Some of us prefer the, amenities of the modern day.
I'm just gonna start walking.
So you might walk to Officer Miller.
Sorry about that. So you guys step forward following the directions that you received from the receptionist, and you find the area that the local, like the street cops are seated and their desks are, and you head on over, and eventually you do find the desk of an Officer Miller. Officer Miller is a man in his late 30s. He is of Caucasian descent, looks vaguely Irish. He's got reddish brown hair, and that's starting to gray in the temples and in his chin beard, which he thinks makes him look younger, but really doesn't. Got a pair of brown eyes, and he is just going over paperwork, typing away at a computer, and looking like he would rather be anywhere else.
Officer Miller?
He looks up from his computer. Can I help you?
Hey, I was told by a friend of mine, a mutual friend, to come and talk to you about something. named Marcus. Can Marco ring a bell for you?
Marco?
Marcus?
Marcus.
Sorry, actually, out of character. I think that's his name, right?
It's,
For some
it's
reason,
Marcos.
my brain.
It's Marcos.
Yeah, Marcos. Yeah, Marcos. I was like, wait, one of the. Yeah, like, yeah, Marcos just kind of told me to come here to talk with you. Help us with the problem that
Oh,
we've been having.
yeah. Marcos gave me a call earlier. He said you'd be dropping by. I didn't think it'd be this soon, though.
We're efficient.
Clearly.
That's the word.
Hey, alright. Here, follow me. And he'll, get up and, start leading you guys over to a, kind of like a conference room where you think this is where, the precinct, gathers together their officers to, like, go over the events of the day. There's, like, just basic tables, basic plastic chairs, podium where someone were to stand to address whoever's seated in the room. And, he'll, hold the door open for you guys to come on in.
I'll enter.
I will enter then.
I'll keep towards the back.
Avery enters, but she gives him a bit of a side eye glare as she passes him.
He'll close the door and he'll and he'll move to like twist the rod that shuts the curtain, the blinds on the windows that allow you to see into the room. All right. I didn't think that you guys would be coming in as a group, but all right. So you guys are needing to get into the morgue, right?
Correct.
All right. Are you guys gonna be fixing this shit anytime soon? Because, I know that, I don't know what you guys in the cartel are up to, but, it's starting to get really hard to hide this from those fucking nosy-ass newspaper reporters from Tampa Bay Times. And,
I think it'd be best to focus on your own lane right now. We'll do our job. You do your job.
go ahead and give me a manipulation and intimidation check.
Oh boy. I'm going
Starting
to.
to like
Can
this
I route the blood?
Rouse the blood? Okay, go ahead and give me a rouse check.
Putting it to my manipulate. I'm good. I got this beast under control.
Yeah, you do. Damn, it's a nice roll.
Oof. Ooh.
Would you
I'm
like
going
to spend a willpower?
Yes.
Because otherwise, this is going to become very bad very quick.
2 successes.
With a potential bestial failure. I'm going to go ahead and roll the 3 dice he would have for his pool. Lucky for you, he only rolled 2 successes as well. So you meet it. The officer looks down at... How tall is Valerie?
So Valerie, it's like average height, like, actually not really average, a little bit taller. Like 5'10".
5'10"? Okay, so you are taller than this man.
Yeah.
He is standing at like 5'8". He's not a tall officer, but he looks up slightly at you, and you're... How does it look when Valerie sizes this man up?
I imagine, like, I take a step forward at first, kind of like using my height to my advantage a little bit, like stepping over him. As I stare down at him, my eyes kind of seal up. If I, I say that to him as I just stare him down, waiting for him to do something, to blink, to have any sort of response. Just kind of like a stare down right now.
And he tries to hold your gaze for several moments, something that you as a venturer know is not the best idea when dealing with you, but he doesn't know any better. And he tries to stare you down for a few seconds before you see the wince as your intimidating presence kind of just makes him shrink down even a little bit more. It's as if he legitimately just shrunk in size even more so, just under your piercing steel gaze. Apologies,
Can you take us to the body now?
I can take you downstairs and I can make sure that that section of the precinct is vacant for a little bit, but you got about like 20 minutes before people have to like move on as usual. I mean, normally that area isn't busy to begin with. Everyone's kind of creeped out. Usually it's just detectives coming in and out, but the detectives assigned to this case, they're off. They said they were gonna go talk to the lady who found the body and then follow up on some leads.
Storyteller, do we have the lady's name who found the body?
Yes, you do have the lady's name who found the body. Her name is Sonia Gutierrez. It was in the it was in the Tampa Bay Times article.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're good.
Hey, while we're down there, is it possible for you to give us a copy of the police report?
Yeah, I can pull it. I can pull up a copy of it. Yeah. I'll drop you off there. Go print it out, and then I'll bring it back over to you guys.
Did the autopsy occur yet, or they're still waiting on the autopsy?
I don't know. The chick that does all that gross shit, she kind of goes at her own pace, and the chief leaves her alone. I don't know if she started yet or not, but I do know that the detectives haven't received the autopsy report yet.
All right.
And
quarantine off the area. And also, do you happen to know where she is right now?
I don't know. That chick's creepy. We don't really talk to her. Like Wednesday Addams vibes.
Are you afraid of the dead, Officer Miller?
No, I'm not afraid of the dead, but this is Florida and you see some weird shit. And I personally don't like looking at a mauled body.
Fair enough. I was gonna say, you're in the wrong line of work if you're afraid of the dead.
I'm not afraid of the dead. The dead stay dead.
Totally.
Just like glaring at Avery, maybe just like a little like shove with the elbow, just like quit. All right,
She gives her like a super innocent smile.
I was just saying, if you quarantine off if you get that area off for us now, we appreciate it. You won't take long.
Yeah, okay. He opens the door and starts leading you, trying to appear official, you know, doing that like belt grab thing that for some reason all cops seem to do no matter what state you go to. It's always just like a default, like I feel like they learn it in police academy, just gripping the belt and making as much noise as possible with that thing. But he'll lead you down trying to look like he's on official business right now. And takes you down the stairs. He elects not to use the elevator, deciding that it's a lot quicker to just go down the steps. But he doesn't take you down the initial set of stairs that you came down. He takes you down to a set of stairs near the back of the building. And you notice as you're going down, it's like one of those fire escape, like at a hotel, like where the stairwells are. Like, and it's like kind of like that echoey,
Stairwell.
It's a stairwell. It's a stairwell. Thank you, Kraz, so much. Words escaped me there for a moment. But you go down this stairwell, your shoes echoing off the concrete walls, and he pushes open the door to let you guys through. And you notice that this area of the precinct is a little quieter than the front entrance that you use. There's less traffic going through. You do smell the distinct scent of cigarettes coming from that exit next to the stairwell where like the fire exit sign is. So you can tell that this is the direction that most cops do go to in order to take their smoke breaks while they're on or whatever staff are there. And he leads you through a back hallway past this door, and it's very clean. There's not a lot of, it's mainly just wall and tile floor. And there's not a lot of stuff decorating the walls, maybe just an occasional, you do see that there is like a directional sign that you can clearly see says morgue and an arrow pointing down the hallway. He takes you to the set of double doors that would lead into the morgue and kind of looks over his shoulder. All right, I'm gonna head back, get that police report for you guys. If anyone says anything, you're here to identify a body and waiting for the mortician. And you don't know me. Well, you do know me, but like, you don't know me like this.
Sounds good.
All right. And he'll head on out and leave you guys in front of the double doors leading into the morgue.
All right. If we can find that mortician, that would be very good. Because if she happens to start getting an inkling that something weird's going on, that could be very bad for everyone. So if we can find her, I can try and change how she remembered things and try to make this into a very typical gator attack. So if you can try and if any of you see her or can try and find her, please do so.
Alright, so you can
Looking
use
for
one of
Wednesday
your tri-
Adams.
What'd you say, Gwendale?
You're going to use one of your tricks to change your mind.
It's for the best of everyone that
I think so.
doesn't get too close. First thing first is the body.
You guys open the doors and head into the morgue. It is significantly colder in here. Not that any of you feel it, but you can tell that the temperature here is a lot more on the cooler end than the rest of the precinct. You can see that there is a wall that is full of drawers, which keep the bodies in a cooler. There is a table, a surgical table set up that is currently empty, and you do see a desk nearby that has papers and folders and files scattered about it messily with a computer in front on top of it. And you also notice that next to the surgical table there are typical tools that a mortician would use in performing an autopsy.
Get to work. I assume you're all better at this than me, so I'll try and keep an eye out, make sure no one comes in here, or at least to try and find that mortician, and the rest of you can try and find whatever you can.
All right. Let's start with Gwendale. Gwendale, what are you going to be doing inside the morgue?
Inside the morgue, the first thing I want to is
Oh my god, you're obfuscating so much.
Oh my god.
Come on with the shadows.
Yes. So I will not obfuscate, but I will examine the body and try to find anything that is out of the ordinary for kind.
Well, first things first, you need to find the body. It's not, it could be in one of the drawers. But
Yeah, there's no body on display right now. It's just a bunch of drawers filled with bodies that we need to find one.
yeah.
Oh, okay, so
And
we need to first find the right body.
okay.
The one we're looking for.
So, you start going to the you go to the fridge, and there is about 12 drawers, 3 rows, each with 4 across, and you have no knowledge of which ones are occupied and which ones are actually, no, you do know which ones are occupied because you'll see case numbers written across a whiteboard on each drawer. Are you going to pull the drawers open individually, or are you going to figure out another means of discovering which body it is?
So I'm going to try to use my knowledge of how do you say crimes that I used to inquire about when I was when I was an investigator. And I'll try to devise how to know which body is the right one.
Okay, so go ahead and give me an intelligence and investigation roll, and you can add your deduction specialty to this.
All right.
Gwendale's being fully taken by the shadows. No.
I know.
If a Lasombra's attacking you, just blink. Well, no.
Well, no.
Oh, you can't because I'm wearing sunglasses.
I know that's the funny part.
So it was wits, intelligence.
It's intelligence and investigation, and you can add your deduction specialty to it.
So it's one more dice.
Yes, so you have a pool of 7 with that one.
Make sure to include your 1 hunger.
Yes, because he is still at 1 hunger. Okay. With 3 successes... Oh, you forgot. Next time, don't forget to include your hunger die. With 3 successes, you look at the case numbers written on the drawers, and you realize that there's probably some case files over on the desk, and after a quick look through, you discover you are able to correlate the date of the event, that of the murder that took place, or the death that took place on Friday, with one of the case numbers, and go over to the drawer, the correct drawer, and you pull it open, and there is a body that is currently under a white sheet. Can't hear you. Push to talk.
Then I will carefully remove the white sheet to discover the said mold body.
As you pull the sheet away from the corpse, you see a savaged body. There are clear limbs that are broken. You can see that someone did their best to try to straighten the limbs up, but you can tell just from how they're laying that bone was broken in the arms that you have exposed. You can see some clear... It's almost like someone punched in and crushed all of the ribs in the chest, because it's almost deflated a little bit. Like there's not enough structure to support the muscle and skin that normally would lay there. You see several lacerations on this very deathly pale face. And very clearly across the neck, you can see where its flesh was torn and just eviscerated. This person clearly died painfully. And you can tell that it is a male individual in his early to mid-20s, who just is obviously not wearing clothing because of the autopsy, but you do notice that there are also some stitching across his torso, which indicates that the body has been cut into and then stitched up again.
Someone at a bad time. So does it look like clothes?
Go ahead and give me another intelligence and investigation with your deduction specialty. And Kraz, I did see you raise your hand.
So it's going to be a 7.
Yes, yes, and don't forget to add your hunger.
+1 hunger.
Yes.
Right.
Kraz, you were raising your hand to say something?
No, not really, but I was kind of waiting to do stuff. Can I guess, look at like his eyes, if there are any left, and see if he might have been on something before he would died.
You open the eyelid and you separate them, and it's just a blank, dead look in its eyes. There's nothing. There's no light. There's nothing there. It's just, if there were on something, you wouldn't be able to tell post-mortem. That kind of stuff is done through a blood test.
Okay. Speaking of blood.
Moving back to Judicale, Gwendale, you only got one success, correct? Gwendale? All I see is eyeglasses.
Sorry. Yes, I only see one successes.
So if you would like, you can spend a willpower to re-roll your failures.
Yes, I would like to.
Alright, so go ahead and click re-roll failures. Alright. With 2 successes, I will say that you can't be entirely sure if this was, what were you saying, claws?
Garu claws?
You can tell with 2 successes, I will say you can tell that these lacerations were not caused by something as, well, hang on a second. Would you know much about the Garu?
Well, okay, let's say, since I'm a gangrel and I grew clothes out of my head, can I tell, like, it is kind of the same as mine, or is it something, like, different?
They could be similar to yours, but with 2 successes, it's hard to tell because of how savage this body was.
So it's like, I'm not saying it's alien, but it's alien. Alright.
Are aliens real?
Get focused on the job.
I'm not saying it's Garu, but maybe Garu.
Alright. Izumi and Valerie, what are you doing currently?
Probably like me turning around for a second to like, someone read the notes on the desk. Like there's stuff there. And I'm like, I turn back. I'm just keeping an eye out, like making sure no one's coming in, or at least if I can find the mortician, you know, I can hunt her down.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'll look at the file.
Alright, give me a wits and investigation roll, since you are looking through, you're just trying to quickly look through the papers on the desk. And Valerie, go ahead and you give me a wits and awareness.
Oh no, I'm not that good. That's
well,
not good.
you're actively, you said you're trying to keep an eye out on things.
I know. I was just lamenting.
Oh no, this is not my best pool.
This is a terrible pool for me.
Welcome to the club.
Can I help someone?
Can you help someone?
Yep.
Well, you just finished investigating the body, so I would say that yes, you can assist Avery and give her an additional dice. So Avery, if you'd like, you can roll 1 more dice.
Nice.
I'm a willpower because I feel like it. I did nothing.
Did nothing.
That's pretty funny.
So 3 successes for Avery. So Avery, you go looking through the papers, and you do manage to find some notes on the specific case, especially with with Gwendale's help. He points you in the direction of the case number, and you're able to look at the folders, and you see some notes written down for this for this corpse. It's nothing really solid, but it just kind of like, it's not clearly the actual police report or the autopsy report, but you do see signed on the paper, you see exsanguination, no blood at crime scene, fangs not coherent with gator attack.
I'm gonna just slip that into my coat.
Okay. So you go ahead and put that into your coat.
Maybe it's better if we do like a photo with our smartphone instead of taking the notes out of the file, because they might notice that something is missing.
I mean, maybe, but
More prudent, you know.
I think it'd be better if this file disappears.
Now I will. Go ahead,
Anyway,
Cress.
He's going
Sorry.
to raise suspicion.
Go ahead, Cress.
Yeah, very true. After all, we don't want to get caught.
Now, I will say that you can all clearly tell that an autopsy has already been performed on this body, but you have yet to retrieve the autopsy report.
If I may act, I'd like to look at like the body. I remember that Mr. De Leon mentioned that exsanguination. So how bloody is the mass? Like,
So as you look over the body, you kind of instinctively just sniff a little bit, almost like a predator would. And you're hovering over it, you're poking at it. There is this body, like, you smell blood, obviously. But this body has been drained of it, pretty much. And if you've ever been around a freshly drained body in the few months that you've been a Kindred, you would recognize that this person likely died without a single drop of blood left in their body.
So why drain a guy's blood and also maul him like that?
They drained him first, maybe, then mauled him to hide the evidence.
The order doesn't make sense to me either way.
Imagine,
Listen, I'm
looking
not
out
an
the
investigator at all. Like, I'm just throwing out theories.
I'm looking out the door and I like look back and I'm like, it's clear they don't care about hiding evidence if they're willing to leave all this shit behind, and they're willing to, not like they're hiding the fact they drained their blood. And I like go back to like looking out the door.
It honestly looks almost like a frenzy.
Could be, I guess, but low enough to just drink from a rot or from a fresh corpse. Is that like slurping it up?
Pretty sure that that's a thing that some people or some of us do.
It's also the fact that, you know, if it was a frenzy, this happened multiple times. No matter what it is, it's still a problem. I don't think if it's a frenzy, then they're willingly feeding into it, and they're more beast-like than us at this point.
Fair. Can I tell what type of blood was on it? But since I can still sell it.
So the thing, if you had heightened senses, I would say yes. However, you do not have auspex or heightened senses like that. So based on that alone, you just smell blood. It's hard to distinguish the differences in, like, the difference in blood just from a sniff if you don't know. Like, you're gonna get more information from a drug test on, like, the blood report and everything, which would be included with the autopsy report. Like, because, yeah, if I'm remembering correctly, any part of an autopsy like includes a drug screening of the blood, of what blood was left in the body, to see if they were on anything.
Oh, I meant more like the like for drinking, like, is it choleric? All that stuff.
This person, when they died, hang on, what are the resonances? What does this resonance do again?
That was what was slipping me. The resonance.
Yes, the resonance. That I can answer. I just need to look something up real quick. It was a melancholic resonance. Oh no, I broke something. Okay, there we go. Sorry for that technical difficulty, folks. We're back. But you can, yeah, you have the Bloodhound merit, correct?
Myself? No, I don't think so.
Oh, then no, you would not be able to tell that what resonance it has. Okay. It would have to be a Bloodhound.
Okay. Do any of us have that?
Not me.
Oops, so well.
No, no one has the Bloodhound. No one has the Bloodhound merit in this group. Sorry.
It's funny. I remember we mentioned that in the beginning of like, someone's gonna take Bloodhound, right? And we're like, yeah.
And then no one took. I wasn't gonna say anything. I gotta have fun too.
Somebody else was gonna take it.
Yep. All right. So.
But do I see the mortician or whatever? By the way, I know I only got one success, so I doubt it. But you know, hey, who knows?
You don't see anyone.
All right.
Are there filing cabinets that I could maybe find reports in?
There is a filing there are a few filing cabinets, but you also see that there is a computer on the desk.
Sure. I will look at the friggin' computer.
All right.
Maybe I could ask someone to access the computer.
So are you gonna text Jinx and ask her to come in?
Just if she can like connect, but like being outside of the precinct from the phone.
No, that's not. She would have to be physically in front of the computer or have a backdoor access. She would need a computer to be able to do that kind of stuff. But Avery, as you move to touch the computer mouse and the loading screen, like not the loading screen, the idle screen switches back to the home screen of the computer, and you do see that it's asking for a password.
Any of you good at hacking? Gives a glance towards the Nosferatu.
Don't look at me, honey. That's a stereotype.
Wow.
Valerie shakes her head from the door.
Too bad. We can't even count on stereotype anymore.
My bad, you're my first Nosferatu I've met, so...
It's okay. I sling drugs. I don't do computer stuff.
Well, considering the fact that we are stumped here, we need to know what the report says. It might just be best for us to find the mortician, if one of you are better at that than I am.
Is there a like a hint for the password?
Doesn't seem to be. It's like the basic Windows login where you just type in password. Yes, Judica.
Can I try to guess the password?
Okay, what are you guessing the password?
I'm going to use my wits investigation. Can
I don't think. Okay, so wits and investigation. I don't think would be a roll for this. I don't. So there's not a roll to. Okay, well, hang on a second.
Maybe I can put some powder and then we'll see where the digits.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have powder?
I always have some powder. Otherwise, I can count on my Nosferatu friends who's flying.
For cocaine? For powder?
That works, you know?
I mean, oh my god, this mortician's gonna get so are you gonna put cocaine on the keyboard?
That'll be like $60.
Well, you can charge a mortician.
If we find her, sure, why not? But it might be better to actually like look at her gear. She might actually have some powder that's not as valuable.
brilliant idea, my friend. So I'm going to try to find some powder that can be used to, trace where people are typing the password.
All right. So you head on over and to go look at the mortician's gear. And Valerie, as it was in that moment you were turned away, and because of your one success, you don't hear the sound of footsteps until they're just outside the door. And suddenly the door that you were leaning on swings open, and standing in the doorway is a human woman who looks to be in her late 20s, who has clearly bleached her hair into like smoky white, like platinum color. She has like a sunken look in her eyes, kind of like going with like the full creepy vibes of a very like a professional goth aesthetic. Caucasian, Caucasian woman. She's got blue eyes. And she's wearing a lab coat with a simple pattern, like a simple like punkish dress beneath it, and professional but still gothic looking boots. And she looks at all of you and is very confused in the moment and just says, "Who are you and what are you doing in my morgue?"
Hi, you must be Wednesday as Adam.
That's where we're gonna end tonight's episode because we are running over time. So thank you again, everyone, for joining this evening's stream. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following us on all social media. And thank you to my adorable players, my lovely players, who have made St. Pete by Night a game that we've grown to love. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here tonight, you can find St. Pete by Night on all social media platforms, and you can find the links to us down below. Past seasons are available on YouTube, and you can check out our schedule here on Twitch, Instagram, and our website for any upcoming streams. We have over 7 storytellers on St. Pete by Night revamped and are running 13 games with over 20 sessions a month. So there's going to always be something to watch. Have a good night, and we will catch you next week, everyone.